Hello, everybody, and welcome to our off-season bonus episodes. My name is Davis, and I'm joined here by Darien.
Hi, everybody.
And today's patron is Jen Calonita.
Ooh, who's that?
She's the author of one of the Twisted Tales I'm going to tell you about today. Specifically, Go the Distance. You know, the Hercules one.
The Hercules one. So, DJ, I am familiar with the Twisted Tales because I have seen them at bookstores, and I like to look at them because they are clearly dark retellings of Disney movies. Is that correct? I mean, not dark, but darker.
Some are. Most are, at least the ones that I've been listening to, except for the Frozen one. But anyway,
we'll get to that.
We'll get to that one later.
So, but how you have actually consumed many of these? Yeah. Let's a little groundwork for these special bonus episodes we're doing over the next couple months. Why and what?
Why have I been consuming them?
Yes.
Or why do they exist?
Why'd you start?
Because they looked cool. Essentially same with you. I didn't even know that they existed until, because those of you who don't know, I work at Amazon, and I come across a lot of items a day, and those were some that I came across. Mainly the Little Mermaid one.
Interesting.
I would come across that. I'm like, this looks really cool. What the fuck is this? So probably because it came out recently, I think, and so people were buying it.
Yeah.
And so I came across it, and I'm like, I should look into those. I have Audible. Let's check it out. And I found out that there are I think 10 now. A good amount. There's
quite a few. The covers are very evocative.
Yeah, and so I'm like, I gotta fucking check these out. And here we are. Yeah, I actually started with the Frozen one because that one intrigued me more, and then it's actually the one that disappointed me the most. But then I went on to the Hercules one, which is what we're talking about today.
Because it feels like the best way to segue into this special thing is we are still talking about Greek mythology.
It's still Greek mythology, but it's also
it's also Twisted Tales.
Twisted Tales. And for those of you who don't know, Twisted Tales they take the story, either change an aspect of it or add some of it, or whatever.
Twist it.
Yeah,
like a Twizzler.
Yeah, like a Twizzler. Twist it in some sort of way. Like the Hercules one we'll be talking about. It's Go the Distance. Subtitle: What if Meg had to become a Greek god?
I'm so into this premise. DJ, please just tell me more. Let's just go.
So it starts off, and at the very end of the movie, we see Herc being like, well, I actually want to stay. Well, okay. Actually, the first chapter is about Meg as a child.
Oh.
So, yeah, they do this actually a lot throughout them. The Aladdin one has a similar, Meg as a child. Or not Meg, Aladdin as a child, you know? And just we get to see his relationship with his mom. And this one, we get to see the relationship with Meg's mom and dad.
Interesting.
And the dad is a fucking deadbeat.
Oh.
The dad spends all their money, doesn't do anything, and the mom is like, I have to fucking work my hands to the bone because she knits and does that kind of work, to patchwork and just other stuff like that to be able to get by. And then it's well, he runs off, and then the next day the landlord lady is coming, and so it's we got to get the fuck out of here because she's not gonna really agree with she's not gonna give us any sympathy. So they run away, and then it's the next chapter. She goes from being 5 to 13.
Okay,
and we get it these 8 years have been. Meg essentially has to grow up because her mom had a mental break. Ooh. Right? At least she doesn't obviously say that, but it's the mom goes from this try hard single mother trying her best to really irresponsible stealing from her daughter and just frivolously spending that money that her daughter makes. And I'm like, what the fuck happened here? This is not the character that you literally just described to me.
Yeah, wow.
But yeah, she takes the money from Meg that Meg was going to use to kind of treat herself by getting eggs, right? For the week. Yeah, the mother takes that money and uses it to buy a pan flute and gets it for her daughter. And so she self-teaches herself to do it. And it's oh, you can actually make a lot of money doing this. And so they go from town to town, essentially. And
Meg plays the pan flutes?
Yes.
Okay.
They're a flute. They say a flute, and I'm like, it's a pan flute. This is Greece, right?
Gotta be pan flutes. Okay.
It's a pan flute. So you go through it, and it's oh man, this is kind of cool. But Meg's mom is always listen, whatever. But then it's also Meg's mom meets a really nice guy, and is the guy's super sweet to her, blah blah blah. But Meg's mom has commitment issues now, and so they run away. I'm like, fuck.
Damn.
This guy was about to like provide everything for this family. They run away. I'm like, that's rough.
Well, I'm sure like the dad seemed like a catch too at first.
Right, yeah. But then it's like, or maybe they just like one night stand and then they're fucking stuck together, right? That could be a possibility.
That could be a possibility.
But then it jump cuts to the end of the movie.
Okay.
And we're like, oh, okay, cool. We get to see this end of this movie, and it starts off, you know, it's like the whole scene is like everybody's celebrating. We get to see inside Meg's mind. He's like, I'm not super stoked about this. I'm going to lose Wonder Boy.
Yeah.
This sucks.
Uh-huh.
And then it's, you know, Hercules goes like, I want to stay with Meg. And Zeus is like, no, I'm not going to allow that. You're my son. I've been away from you for so fucking long. And Meg overhears like gossip from Demeter and Aphrodite. Mm-hmm. Which is so much fun because it's like in every representation, the gods are gossipy bitches.
Oh, they're gossipy bitches.
I love it so much because same. Yeah. And so we go, like, she overhears that Zeus actually found Hercules as a child and left him there because of the prophecy and whatever. And I'm like, first of all,
what?
They acknowledge in the movie that, like, they know where Hercules is.
Yeah.
This is a thing, right? It's like they acknowledge it. But, like, he can't come up because he's mortal.
Yeah, he's not a god.
He's not a god. He's mortal. He's got to do heroic thing. But, like, the whole thing is like, oh, well, Zeus could have, but, you know, whatever. And so Meg brings that up. And Zeus is like, that was a weird non-issue that like got brought up because I'm like, they literally say this in the movie.
Yeah.
Like they have this whatever. And then Hera, while Herc and Zeus are like fighting off the side, Hera pulls Meg to the side and is like, do you really love my son? And Meg is like, well, love is a strong word. I mean, like, maybe I really like him. He saved my life and I saved his.
Listen,
like,
I had a whole number about not saying it out loud. The Muses were there. Check with them.
Yeah, it's like, do I love him? I really like being, and just like that whole thing. It's like, well, I'll let you, like, the way that you can stay with him is if you become a god. And I will give you 10 days to, what is
God
it?
trial.
Yeah, do a quest, right?
Quest!
This is like, not the exact wording. I haven't listened to it in like a couple of weeks.
Okay.
I was like, you got to do a quest. The first step to your quest is to find Athena's double flute. Or double reed flute, or whatever the fuck they call it.
Why does Athena have a flute?
I don't know.
Do you know who should have a flute?
Fucking Apollo?
Yeah. Is it Apollo? Should it be a fucking Apollo?
No, Apollo doesn't show up.
Is it just the goddesses?
I kind of, yeah.
All right. I mean, I respect
it's essentially
that.
just like Hera and Athena, who are like kind of the main ones that show up.
So she has to go find a flute.
She goes to find a flute.
Hey, she knows how to play a flute.
I was like, you got 10 days to go to find the flute, and then continue your quest from there because it'll be revealed to you.
Okay.
And so she's like, well, son of a bitch, I haven't played a flute in God knows how long. And now I've got to go find one. Yeah. And so she goes and she's like struggling. And Hercules obviously gives her a rose or fucking something with like a certain amount of like petals, like 3 petals. She can pull one off and ask for assistance.
Okay. I dig it.
Mainly from Hercules, but from essentially any god.
So is Hercules a god now?
Yes.
Zeus
Hercules
bullied
is
him into doing it.
Hercules is still god. Yeah, Zeus is like, you just are not gonna stay on Earth. Yeah. You cannot stay on Earth, and she cannot stay up here, and I'm not gonna allow you to go down there and visit her because fuck me, I
This
guess.
sounds more like the Zeus we know.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, yeah, all right. So she gotta go and do the quest. And so she goes, Hercules gives her Pegasus, and he's like, go talk to Phil. He'll be able to help you. And Meg is like, that guy doesn't like me. I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
So she goes and she's like, where should I start? Somebody gives her a hint. No. It was Hera gives her an hourglass. That is obviously magic, and it's timed for 10 days. And so she's like, where do I go? And so she's looking on the hourglass, and there's like a hint of like an island in the middle of the Mediterranean. It's like, go here, and she'll probably find something. So she goes there, she hears the flute playing, and it's a very good sounding flute. She's like, that might be it. And it is guarded, and it is being played by an empusai.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And so she's like, well, fuck me. She managed to get it. I don't remember how, but she gets it and then she starts running, but it's an empusai.
Uh-huh.
And these things are fucking scary.
Yeah.
And
remind us all what an empusai is.
It is essentially a Greek vampire who's got a metal and goat leg.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they're chasing after her. She gets really close to dying, manages to take Pegasus, fly up a hill, and while the Empusa is coming up, there's a big boulder she pushes down and fucking crushes it flat.
Nice.
And she's like, okay, Pegasus, take me to Phil. So she goes to Phil, and Phil's like, oh, fuck, dude, you're in worse shape. And then she passes out. And then we get a little bit of what's going on through Phil's mind. And it's like, Red's here. She looks horrible. Like, there's gashes in Pegasus. What the fuck happened?
Where's Hercules?
Where is Hercules? Like, this is after Meg wakes up after like a day and a half of being passed out. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like, yeah, I healed you. Where's Hercules? And she's like, well, he had to stay and I had to get, have this. She gave me this to help me. It's like, why didn't you use it? Because I could have done it on my own. And that is a big thing throughout this whole thing, right? Is that she can do it on her own, but she can't.
Well, also, she doesn't have to.
Yeah, and that's like, there are a lot of trials that she can't do. The whole point of this book is that you don't have to do it on your own. Mm-hmm. It is okay to ask for help. And I love that. I think that's great.
I think that's a great story to tell with Meg, who when we meet in the movie is very much like, I am alone. I'm a loner. I do this on my fucking own.
I can do it on my own.
I don't need anybody's help.
Throughout, I think when she's passed out, she does get like a flashback. I can't remember. Like, there's a lot of things that I'm like, I'll talk about it now, but I'm like, maybe I should wait. Because it's like, storytelling wise, it was very good. And there's a reason she doesn't play the flute anymore. There's like, we get to see, I think this was before. The reason she made a deal with Hades, as we know, was because her lover was dying. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I will give you anything. And she already tried to bargain with all the other gods. Like, please, please, please help me, help me, help me. And last ditch effort is like, Hades, I will give you anything you want. Mm-hmm. She hears a voice in her head. Anything? It's like, yes, anything. She's like, all right, your soul is mine. And so she immediately gets pulled into the underworld. And it's like, well, let me back out there. And it's like, well, the dude doesn't want you. And then it's like, we get to see an image shows up in front of Meg in like a waterfall or something like that. And it's him out already on the market, right? Out in like the market hitting on ladies. And we're like, wow, that guy's a piece of shit. But I'm sitting here like, there's another level to this.
Yeah, it's that Meg disappeared while he was dying.
Yeah, Meg disappeared while he was dying. And like, obviously he's like awake and fine. And it's like, there's another level to this. Hades has already said time moves differently in the underworld. Yeah. And it was like, when she was going to the underworld, she fell really, really far.
Oh, shit, girl. It's been a while.
Yeah. And so the whole time I'm like, it's been a long fucking time, hasn't it?
Yeah, he didn't just wake up the next day and be like, yeah, fuck that Meg bitch. It's probably been, she just ran off on me.
Yeah, it's like, and then it's like, so she gets the flute and she starts to play it, or like, she gets the flute and Athena shows up.
Tight.
Athena shows like, that's my flute, mortal. Like, yeah, I was told to get it. And it's like, yeah, play it for me. It's like, I haven't played in years. Since I fucking essentially, went into servitude of Hades, I haven't played in God knows how long.
Gods know how long.
Yeah. And so she plays it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's good, right? It's definitely above average, but Athena's like, it's not as good as you used to be.
Not impressed.
Like you're missing a reason, essentially. It's like, it definitely felt like,
the je ne sais quoi.
If I'm going to use it in modern terms, a computer has painted a Van Gogh. Is essentially how Athena described it.
There's no heart.
It's like, you don't feel what you're playing. You're playing it and you're just playing it. And it's like, well, fuck. And then
here's what I love is that I know in the book, the Disney book, they were not allowed. Meg did not get to say, well, fuck.
No, yeah.
But I also know that
but she did get to say damn and I think bitch a couple of times.
Nice. I know in the truth of the story is that Megara definitely says fuck.
Yeah. Well,
Hercules never says fuck.
No.
Megara says
he's
fuck
Wonder Boy
all the time.
Hercules is golden boy wonder. We love him. Yes, he's adorable he's a fucking puppy.
Once he said darn it and it was
dude's a golden retriever and we love him.
Megara says fuck.
Megara says fuck. Absolutely.
McCaffrey also says fuck.
Yes. And so yeah, I think it's at this point Athena tells her, it's like, all right, you got to confront your past.
Shit.
And that means go to your ex.
Shit.
And it's like, well, he left me for some fucking floozy. It's like, well, you gotta, like, he has the next answer for you.
Okay.
Or it's like, now it's go to, it's go rescue Catalina. Catalina is the name of the floozy.
Shit.
Yeah. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? I gotta go do this? And this is why, like, this is when I was texting. She's like, oh, it's another retelling of the Orpheus myth.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, she gotta go to the underworld and rescue somebody, which is, like, at this point, only been done by Orpheus.
Yeah. And not well.
Not well, no. It's not actually been done.
It's also been done by Hercules.
Yeah. But that was also, like, Hercules damn near fucking died doing it.
Yes.
The only reason he lived is because
he's a god.
He became a god the moment he grabbed Meg's hand, which was great. I love that.
So
The movie's
good.
so good.
It's fucking good. Such good gold.
Yeah. And so, like, so Meg's like, well, I don't want to do that for her. She stole my man. She's a bitch. And then she's like, well, you got to go confront this dude. And then it's like, we get to see more backstory of, like, how Meg met him, which she was playing her flute. And then the dude, like, came up and they started playing, like, together.
Nice.
And it's
jam
labs. They jam labs. And then she was like, you know, or like she got contracted by a band to help to be the flute in this concert. Right. Okay. And the dude was one of them. I think he was essentially a trumpet player, whatever could pass for a trumpet. I don't remember. It was,
we actually have no
or maybe
idea
a
what music
fucking
sounded like
harp.
in ancient Greece.
Not at all. Maybe he was a harp player. I can't remember.
A liar.
Yeah. And it, so it's like, they fall in love and they have all these dreams. They date for 2 years. And he's, like, essentially on the verge of asking her to marry him. And it's like, or at least, like, what counts as marriage in whatever ancient Greece was. And they just continually, like, and then it's like, you know, he gets sick, but they have all these dreams. And the main one is having this cute little house on top of a hill. And when she finds him, he is in a house on top of the hill. Ooh. Obviously, he used this dream for that fucking hoe. Yeah, right?
The floozy.
The floozy, that bitch. She gets mad. She goes and knocks on the door. The guy's got a kid. Keep in mind, it's to her, it's been like fucking a year since Hades, like, contracted her. Dude's got a kid.
It's been a lot longer than that, honey.
Yeah. Dude's got a kid. This house is built. And so she blows up on him. But Phil becomes fucking Uncle Phil with that child. And it is adorable. Phil is like, at first, like, I don't do kids, but then you immediately realize that's a lie.
That's actually a lie.
That's 100% a lie. Like, he is so good with this child.
Aww. Nanny goat.
Yeah, nanny goat. And then Meg blows up on the dude, saying, like, you left me the moment I fucking disappeared, blah, blah, blah. And so she runs off, uses one of the pedals to call Hercules just to talk. Aww. Just to talk and kiss and love on each other and just, like, have a good... And, like, Hercules, being the little golden retrieval, golden boy, emotionally there person he is, it's like, maybe you should just, like, hear him out.
Motherfucker.
It's like, well... The next step of her quest is to learn who this person was and how she is and how she acts and why she should come back. The reason that the gods are like, go get this person is because she died during a flood during the fight of the movie. So, like, just this flash flood came in. Fair. And so she wasn't supposed to die.
Interesting.
And so it's like, you got to go get this woman back. And so, like, yeah, she's got a kid. And this dude, like, and honestly, this dude, the moment he saw Meg, dropped to his knees, started bawling, like, oh my God, it's Meg. I can't believe you're alive. Shit like that. I'm like, fair. Okay. And so she goes back and we get to hear him out. Yeah. It was he searched for her for 2 years.
That's fair.
And used the money he got from concerts to build this house in hopes that she would return. And I'm like, fuck me, man. I knew it, but this is still hurting.
When it's coming, the house thing, like, I wasn't prepared for the house thing.
Yeah. They're like, he built it in hopes that when she would return, she would have her dream home. And then it's like, so he would live in it, but he still had his house at the bottom of the hill. And, like, we know it at going up. It's like, that river wasn't there before. No, unlike before, like, you know, we get to, like, before he like sees Meg for the first time in God knows how long. Like I think 5 years it's been essentially, and it's so it's like yeah, that river wasn't there before. Oh, he's on top of this hill, that bitch. But then it's like, oh, well, but then it's like I think he met Calonita in essentially a help group or just like another thing because she also had lost someone dear to her.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and so they help each other.
They met in therapy.
Yep. They help each other get over each other's, I think, like exes or mom or something. Oh, no. Calonita had lost her younger sister. And so she's been dealing with that for God knows how long.
Oh my god, they met in grief counseling.
Yes. Fucking essentially. And so, like, they helped each other get through that. And then, like, but the whole time he was, like, dating and then, like, subsequently married and had a kid with her. He's like, that house is not for us. It's for the house on the hill, that is for Meg. And it's like, and Calonita got that. She's like, yeah, that's understandable. I respect that. Damn, and so like Catalina. they only stayed in the house at the bottom of the hill.
I'm sorry for calling you a floozy.
No, like that's the point of the whole thing, right? It's like they only stayed in the house at the bottom of the hill. And that's why Catalina died. Is because that flood came through, and that's what that river was. Is this new river was there, and it was a flood that came through, washed away. So he managed to get out with the baby, and they moved up to the house. Because I have no fucking place to go.
That's fair. I did build this house. It has been 5 years. My other house, my wife is dead. I'm just gonna,
And so he goes, and so we're like, well, shit. Now it's like we got to follow this river to the underworld, or no, they got to go to like the Eberron River.
Okay.
And get to the underworld. And so it's like, well, fuck. All right. Let's go ahead and continue. And they go to it. And then it's like they're sailing across because the dude had a boat.
Cool.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, here's a boat. If you manage to bring my wife back, that'd be awesome. And I am sorry, Meg, that all this happened. And Meg is like emotionally processing it the way that Meg does that we see her in the movies, essentially. It's like, damn it. Fuck. Essentially. And then we get to like some of my favorite parts of this book. And it's like, oh, well, we had a sidetrack, which was along the river, there was a tree, like a lone tree in a grove that was with golden apples. Okay. And so she's like, well, Hades loved those. So I might be able to use that to bargain to get out of the underworld after I get her soul.
Wise, thinking ahead.
Yeah, so, but Phil's like, this is a bad idea. Look, that gate says fucking private property, do not enter, you know?
Phil also smart.
Yeah, and so she doesn't listen. She goes and she gets it, and then Stymphalian birds show up.
Ah, the Stymphalian birds.
Yeah, they show up, and they get really close. Like this is one of those times where it's like Meg could not fucking handle this situation.
Yeah.
Like so she was also given essentially like fucking bang. I don't know what the hell the Greeks call it.
Symbols.
Not symbols. They were like sticks that you fucking bang together.
Oh, like what Hercules used in the myth.
Yes. Okay, and so she gets that from Athena as well as like a couple of other things. Like you're gonna need these on your adventure. And so she uses those, and she continues to use those, but then the Stymphalian birds keep coming back, and they're just fucking, they got Phil, they're like, Pegasus is like not doing well because he's still recovering or just like got hurt. And like Phil is being dragged up, and the tree is also fighting back with vines. Rude. Yeah, so she's trying her fucking best, but then it's like, she can't, so she pulls another petal. Hercules shows up and fucking solves the problem. Wonder Boys, it solves the problem.
It is his labor, so.
Yeah, and then Meg gets mad at him.
Why?
No. Hercules shows up without her pulling the pedal.
Oh, she didn't ask for help.
Yeah, did not ask for help, but Hercules shows up anyway because he saw Hera and Athena looking down at the world really intensely. He's like, what are they looking at? My girl's in trouble. Which I get. Come on. Like she was literally being wrapped in fucking tree vines away from the fucking like the symbols that she was using. Phil is being dragged away by birds. The birds are keeping Pegasus at bay. She is about to die. So Hercules shows up without like being asked and like solves the problem. She gets mad at Hercules, takes the thing and throws it into the river, and then it gets lost. And he's like, what? No, I'm trying to help. It's like, I don't need your help. And again, that's the whole point. Is like, it's okay to ask for help. So they go and they continue, and then they get to a lull where it's like, well, the wind's not picking up, and we're still not in the underworld. How do we get through this? then they pray to Aeolus, essentially.
Hey, bag of wins.
Yeah, they pray to Aeolus, and it's like, well, Aeolus is kind of a dick a lot of times, so or maybe it was the southern winds god. I don't remember.
Zephyr? Oh, Zephyr's the west wind.
Well, yeah, whoever the southern wind god is, they pray to him. And it's like, well, his winds are really violent, and most of the time he really likes to crash people. And then it's they fucking get him. It gets him all the way to the underworld. And I can't remember what Phil and Peg start doing. Maybe they just kind of like go back. It's like, this is far we can go or whatever. Mm-hmm. But Meg is like, okay, where do I need to go from this? Like, probably your best bet's the Fields of Asphodel.
Yeah, it's usually classic.
It's like, oh, how do I get there? There's a staircase over there. And so she goes into the staircase and she climbs and she climbs and she climbs and she gets to the field. Or no, she sees an elevator. Or like she goes away and Pain and Panic come out and they do their Pain and Panic dialogue.
Okay.
And she goes into the elevator because it was like just this flush wall. And then suddenly an elevator was there. She's like, what the fuck is this thing? Like there's weird buttons on the side, but like this one says Fields of Asphodel. So let's push it. She pushes it. It opens up and Hades is there.
Motherfucker.
It's like
he got out.
Yeah. Hades is there. And he's like, how's it going? What does he call Meg?
A lot of things.
Like the main thing. It's not Cupcake.
No. Smoochykins. Maggie Poo.
Maggie Poo, I think. Maggie Poo might be. But he calls her
whatever that nickname is.
Whatever the pet name is. And then we get into Hades' mind.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we get like a view from Hades. And his whole thing is like, yeah, I knew she was coming. Like the Southern Wind God came to me. He comes to me for fucking everything because he's gonna like. There's these people. There's this feisty redhead and a goat and a Pegasus here who want to get to me. He's like, let them through because that's most likely Meg.
That's probably Meg.
And then it's like he has Meg in the smoky grasp and was like essentially toying with her and like wonders what Meg is doing, but then accidentally gets distracted by something. I think Pain and Panic come up and he turns around and is like, what? And then she drops across, like, because I was holding her over a ledge and just so she's like, all right, explain what you're doing here because I'd love to hear it. This sounds like a blast to hear. Like, what the fuck's going on here? Mm-hmm. And then he gets distracted and he's like, oh. Drops her and he's like, oh, well. And like turns around and starts talking to somebody and then it's Persephone. And we also hear that like, Demeter's daughter is missing, right? Oh. Demeter is like missing her daughter. But then we turn around and it's Persephone. And Persephone and Hades are so lovely.
Was not prepared for this.
Was not prepared for it.
Shit.
Like the whole time I'm thinking, she's got to go to the underworld to get Persephone back. But then it's like, Persephone loves Hades and Hades loves Persephone. And it totally turns him into a completely different person when Persephone is around. And it's so lovely. And Persephone is, instead of like being in like the dark blues and like everything, she's like more brown, like for like earthy tones. Yeah. But she also loves being dressed in the cobalt blue dresses that Hades has.
She's like, it's just the aesthetic.
It's adorable. And so then we get like, Meg got saved by Pegasus, I think.
That makes sense.
Got saved by something, and so she managed to get to the Fields of Asphodel. And I'm not going to lie. The Fields of Asphodel in Hercules Hades sounds way nicer than any other Fields of Asphodel.
I'm sure.
So what it is it is the land of mild inconveniences. Your clothes never fit right.
Oh, that's the worst.
There's always construction in the distance.
God damn it.
Maybe there's a dog barking at like weird hours.
I hate that.
Everything is like drab sepia black and white colors.
Ugh, it's not good on the ice.
Yeah. And so that's the whole thing. But like when you first show up, it's a fucking party.
What?
When you show up to the underworld, your family gets notified. Yeah, so like this is a place, obviously, like before Persephone there, in most myths, Persephone is the creator of Elysium. Elysium's not there yet.
Okay.
So it's the fields.
I didn't know that Persephone created Elysium.
That's how I like, at least like most retellings, Lore Olympus and what is it? Assassin's Creed Odyssey may not be something to go off of, but this is another one. Persephone created Elysium, and then it's her place. It is the nicest place in the underworld. So obviously the goddess of spring made it, right?
I really like that.
I think it's cool. So, but yeah, and so but like when you show up, your whole family gets notified. And like, so the family that is there gets notified of your arrival.
Mm-hmm.
They go to where the people go, and it's a fucking party.
Aww.
Your clothes are nice, shiny, vibrant. You're still got all the color, and it is just a good time. And this is when you learn Hades has a soft spot for kids.
Oh, yeah, I imagine seeing kids die young would get, like, rough.
Yeah, so he's like, and normally it's like after a while, you have to leave, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to leave that area. You got to go into your eternal damnation, a land of inconveniences. Mm-hmm. Like you get food, not enough to fill you, but enough to keep you alive, right? That is
alive.
Like enough to be like, oh, I could go for another bite. You know, that is how much food you get.
It's like the worst feeling is like I ate and like I am still hungry though.
Yeah, that is the amount of food you get, right? Okay. And so it's like, but this is you get all the wine you could drink, all the food you could eat. Your clothes are great. It is just a party. Your family's there. And then it's like later you get assigned like an apartment building and you go and that's where you hang out for the rest of eternity.
Okay.
But kids do not have to leave.
Aww.
And kids also have just a fun area, like a little field of flowers over off that they could just hang out in until they get their like guardian or somebody else to show up for them. And I'm like, this is so sweet. Hades, what the fuck?
Wow, really?
Hades has and Hades like iron grips with the adults. The kids are like, they're too short. You can't see them. He's looking up like this constantly. He can't see the kids.
He don't see the kids. No, kids. What kids?
What kids? I don't see the kids. Yeah, kids don't have to move on.
I am tearing up. That's
it is so adorable, right?
I am so emotional right now. What
it
the
is
fuck?
So sweet.
Go the distance. How fucking dare you? Was not prepared.
No, it was fucking.
You did not prepare me for this.
I wasn't prepared for it either. Shit came on me, and I'm like, what the fuck? But yeah, hey, like that is the whole thing, and then it's like. The whole time, in the back of her mind, she's thinking, I could see my mom again. Because her mom died when she was like 13, 14, somewhere around there. And so then she was on her own for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
And it's like, I could see my mom again, but I don't have enough time.
Yeah.
And that is like, but like, it's like, well, I showed up and maybe she got the notification that I showed up. And so she asked around. It's like, yeah, there was a lady with the same color hair you were asking about you. Mm-hmm. But I think she went that direction. And it was the complete opposite direction of where she had to go to meet Catalina. Because Catalina, well, her sister died at like 7.
That's right, yeah.
So she's obviously off at the poppy fields with her sister. But her mom is off in the apartment complexes.
Yeah.
So she's like, I don't got time. I got to get to Catalina.
Yeah.
I got to go do that. And so she goes and does that. And so it's like constantly checking the hourglass because time works differently in the underworld. Mm-hmm. Constantly checking that. So she goes off and then we find out Catalina has lost her memories of her life, of her child, of her husband. And it's like, what the fuck? But at first she couldn't find her. And then it's like, I don't know what's going on. And Meg is like, I can't find her. So she drops and she pulls out the flute and she plays it. She plays the song that her ex would play, like made for her, right? Her ex made this song for Megara, and so he would play it. And then this little girl comes up. It's like my sister knows that song. She played it when she put Medusa to sleep before she killed her. And a piece of information that she got was her the baby sister loves to tell tall tales.
Okay.
And that's super adorable.
Okay.
I was like, this is the girl that I'm looking for. Where is your sister? Yeah. She goes up and she like asks Catalina and then the last name that she had when she married. It's like, that's not my name. It's actually this. Mm-hmm. And then the sister's like, you told me that was your name when you got here. I'm like, this is the fucking underworld. Just erase your memories. What the fuck?
Maybe.
But it's like all these other people don't have erased memories.
Okay, so what's with Catalina? Oh, okay.
It was because it's like, it was a divine accident, so it fucked up.
Okay, this shouldn't have happened.
This shouldn't have happened, so she lost her memories of like her life. And then it's like on her way to this poppy field, or like a little before she got to the party, she runs into somebody wearing brown and earthy tones, doing planting these, like the flower that her mother loves, right? Mm-hmm. And so she's like, well, maybe you'd like have a better chance planting over in another, like this other area, because like, these flowers like essentially moisture or whatever. It's like, oh, that's a brilliant idea. I'll try that. And so she goes off. We don't learn her name. Obviously, it's Persephone.
Obviously, it's fucking Persephone.
Obviously, it's Persephone. So she goes, and she can't convince Catalina to come back with her. And so stuff happens here. I can't remember what.
It's okay.
I think she gets tricked by Pain and Panic to come to an area.
Why?
Because Hades is like still looking for her.
He's okay.
Hades is like, oh, well, she's dead. And then like he gets like notification, oh, she's not dead. Bring her to me.
Okay.
And so it's like, he goes and she's like, well, you better like explain yourself to me. It's like, well, Hera wants this soul. It's like, well, that's a fucking joke. And so she's about to burn her alive.
Yikes.
And then Persephone goes like, what are you doing? That's my new best friend. I was like, but Persephone, she's like foiled my plans. Like, I don't care. She saved my fucking flower bed. But obviously they're trying to keep this relationship on the down low because like Demeter would not approve. And so
that's my best friend. Babe. Oh, okay.
Oh, and like Megara got the flower back because a god, Athena or Hera or somebody came back and gave her the flowers. Like, you're going to need this. Like, it is okay to ask for help from time to time. And so she takes it. She's like, fuck. Like, there's a lot that happens. I just like obviously skipped that. So when she was at Catalina, she's like, all right, look, I can help you. So she pulls one of the petals and Catalina grabs it and rips it before she could actually call for help.
Fucking rude.
She's a bitch. But like the Catalina doesn't remember her daughter and her husband. And so it's like, she's like, I don't want to leave my sister alone.
Okay, fine.
I don't want to leave my baby sister alone anymore. Like, I felt like she died and I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay. Like, I'm in torn. Like, she's kind of a bitch, but also like she doesn't remember her child. And so it's like, yeah, I don't remember that family. I'm sorry. And so she goes and, but yeah, she gets caught by
Pain and Panic.
Go to Hades and the whole thing. And Hades like, but if she leaves, she's going to tell on us. Aww. And Persephone's like, well, I don't want that to happen. All right, go ahead and burn it. Yeah, this is Persephone.
She's Persephone the destroyer.
She's Persephone, the bringer of death. She's like, okay, well, I don't want that to happen, and I love hanging out with you, so fine, let's go ahead, like, burn her, whatever. And then Meg's like, wait, what if we work out a deal, and we get, like, this whole thing situated, because you want to marry each other, right? It's like, yeah. Like, I got a direct line to somebody who can help with that. And so we're like, what? Yeah, okay, like, you better not try to trick us. So she pulls the thing and summons Hera. It's like, why did you summon me?
Of marriage.
It's like, why did you summon me? Because like, Meg's like, because I have a situation. And so she looks around. I was like, Persephone, what are you doing here? He's like, because I'm in love with Hades. And so they work out the deal, right? Everybody knows half in the underworld, half not. And so that works out. And it's like, okay, well, I just can't let you leave. But like, Persephone is going to have a boat come for her in the morning to take her back to Olympus. And if you can convince, if you can convince Catalina and get out of here before your hourglass runs out, then I will let you go. But if your hourglass runs out before you leave, I will not allow you to leave. And so they get she convinces Catalina by...
Is it music again?
It's music again, yeah. She plays it, but this time she plays it with feeling. With the feeling.
With gravitas.
Yeah, with the feeling. And like the first time she played that song, it was like shaky, it was wobbly, it was whatever, but she played it with feeling and with this gorgeous flute, obviously, because it was Athena's flute. So it like just had the most beautiful sound. And so she remembers, but she's like, I really don't want to leave my sister. But her sister's like, you have a child. Yeah. Come back with them. Like, I want to see you. I'll see you again, but please go back to your little girl. And so it's like, okay. And they go off. And so then, but Hades like they show up and like, okay, come on. And the boat's coming really slow. Come on. As she's looking at the hourglass, the last grain of sand falls while she's jumping into the boat. Okay. And Hades like, haha, you're not leaving. You're still in the underworld technically. But Persephone's like, well, they're in the boat already. Give them one last trial. And obviously the trial is, don't look back the rest of the way.
Oh, and motherfucker. That's a hard one. Yeah,
so she, like, they're all sitting next to each other. And Persephone obviously is like, what the fuck? These are two mortals. Like, why did I agree with this? But they're all, like, holding each other's hand, essentially. And Meg's like, whatever you do, she's probably going to use your sister's voice to, like, make you turn back. Do not do it. Please. He uses Meg's mom. Meg's mom's like, Meg, are you there? Are you there, sweetie? I miss you. And it's like, fuck me.
I can't even.
And so she starts yelling back, Mom, I can't turn around. I love you so much. And I really hope that I'll be able to see you, but I really can't right now. And so obviously Meg's mom's like, okay, I love you, sweetie. And I'm like, fuck me.
Just sobbing.
Just sobbing.
Oh, was not prepared.
Was not prepared to hear Meg's mom.
Are they all like this?
Kind of. This one's definitely a lot more.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's Greek mythology. It's got a lot more to work with.
Yeah. And so it's, and obviously they make it out, but it's been past 10 days. She didn't complete her trial. And Hera's like there to greet everybody. And Catalina was really worried that she wouldn't be alive. It's like, well, I'm going to go back and I'm still going to be this. And they go through and then she's like full color, full like dress. She's like, oh my God, thank you so much. And Hera shows up. Persephone goes to Olympus, sends Catalina to her husband and starts talking to Meg. And Meg's like, yeah, I didn't make it. But at this point, it's like, it's fine because I did my quest.
Yeah.
And Hera's like, yeah, you're just going to be a god? I'm like, but I didn't make the 10 days. Like, but you learned the lesson.
I don't care about the 10 days.
I mean, like, the 10 days was important. Like, had you gotten, like, a day, but it was, like, an hour. So who cares?
Who cares? What's time to a god?
Yeah. And so it's like, okay, you're going to be the goddess of vulnerability.
Oh, I was going to ask.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's fucking great.
That's a good one.
That's super good. And then we get, like, a little epilogue of him, of, like, Meg going over to, like, people obviously pray to Meg, you know, being the goddess of vulnerability. It was like, just help me out with this. She goes and she, like, visits her, like, lover and, like, his wife. It's like, yeah, what's up? And just, like, talks for a bit and then, like, goes back and lives with Hercules. I'm like, that's super sweet.
I love that. What's Hercules the god of?
Strength? I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Wonder Boy.
It's just Hercules. There's Wonder Boy.
Don't worry about it.
Whatever Hercules is the god of.
Yeah, passages? What's the
strength?
Island? Is he on the island?
I guess. Gateway? I don't fucking know. Whatever it is. Doesn't matter. But yeah, that's the fucking thing. And there's probably a couple things that I messed up that were kind of important, but it was like, it's just great. So much fun. Because it's like the whole time I'm like, no dude who dated you for 2 years is going to immediately just give up on you. So like she fell for a long time.
I love that you called it. I like it when you can call something and then even when you're right, it still has something else you didn't predict. The house. Yeah,
there's what is it? I mean in the Peter Pan one there's a thing that I call it. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, this is how it goes. Mm-hmm. But it was also really obvious. Yeah. We'll get to that one later.
We will. See, now I want to listen to it too. Even though I know what happens, I want to hear Hades and Persephone.
Dude, yeah, it is adorable. Oh my God. It was so cute. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is like the characterization that they do for Hades is wonderful outside of it's great with the Persephone and everything. But it's like, yeah, I could hear Hades from Disney saying this. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. He'd be this snarky asshole and then absolutely a lapdog with Persephone.
I do severely appreciate the fact that it's like, he's like, but if we let her go, she's gonna tell. I don't want that. Okay, I guess we gotta kill her.
Yeah, no, it's actually 100% what happens.
Because then it's like, oh, why would they match?
And it's like I love her. They fit together. And I love him. I was like, well.
No way, because you're complementary. You're both fucking insane, probably.
Yeah, she's trying to plant flowers in the underworld.
It works.
Yeah. You know, Meg's like, why is she trying to plant flowers in the underworld? There's no light here. Yeah, it was great. And it's just so much fun.
I really like that. Oh, DJ, thank you so much for telling me about it.
They're a lot of fun. I'm pretty stoked that I got like 3-4 credits in my fucking Audible account because I didn't shut it off.
I'll just do this.
I'll just buy these, and it was totally worth it.
Yeah, Meg is the goddess of vulnerability. After that plot makes a lot of fucking sense.
It's super great. And yeah, again, like the lesson being, it's okay to ask for help.
Yeah, it's okay to admit your feelings.
Yeah, it's such a fun time. So good.
So good. Okay, I'm gonna. I'd like to read it. I don't know if I will. And that's more of a time thing than a desire thing. If I had nothing to do. I think
it's like 9 hours long.
That's not bad. I could bust that on an afternoon, but.
It is. I like just it a lot. Fun. It's so much fun. I very much enjoyed listening to it, and I am currently listening to the Aladdin one.
Oh.
Very excited to see where that one goes.
I'm into that one. But yeah, Davis, thank you so much for sharing with me. This was fun.
Absolutely.
I'm excited. What would you... Because it's like Twisted Tale. Do you think they did a good job on retelling this in a way that's both like an interesting new take, but also like honors the original?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think this one specifically is like very solid at honoring the original, as well as like having just a fun take. You know,
yeah, building.
Because like the original is like, well, I want to stay human. Okay, but that's not how Zeus would be. No. That's not even how that Zeus would be.
So here's the thing. I like this better.
No, I love it.
I want to be with tonight because I love her. Fuck that. And Harry's like, I got this.
No.
I'll solve it. Okay, fine. Fine, I'll solve it.
I'll give her a quest.
I'll do a quest. We can just do that. It's a quest.
Yeah, it's great. I loved it so much. I very enjoyed listening to it. Yeah, that scene with the boat and Meg's mom really fucking got me. I'm like, oh, I was not expecting that.
That's really good.
It was very solid. Like, Hades didn't care about Catalina. He wanted Meg back.
Yeah, like, fuck Catalina, I don't care. She's not even supposed to be dead.
Yeah, like, I want Meg back. Get her back with me.
Yeah, she fucked with my plan. So, like, timeline-wise, was Hades dating Persephone beforehand, or did they meet recently? Time works differently in the underworld. It
seems like... Because, like, when they go up to... what is it?
Olympus.
When they're in Olympus at, like, the start of the book... We hear Demeter, like, worrying about her daughter. So I assume it's probably been a couple of months.
Okay. Was Persephone hanging out in the underworld whilst Hades was trying to finish his Hercules thing?
Probably.
It's like, you know what? That's actually the true reason why it failed. His heart really wasn't in it anymore. He was like,
I got
started
Persephone.
This 18 years ago. I'm not really willing to commit to this anymore, actually.
I got the fucking prophecy, and I'm like...
It's like, I got the Titans. Like, there was a way more... What? You only have 4 Titans? I was like, someone's like, pain and panic, like, oh yeah, Lord Hades, I see you summoned the 4 Titans. Did you want the extra 600 of them? No, 4 is good. I don't think
I think I can only control 4. Like, I'm strong, but I'm not that strong.
I mean, imagine how stupid Zeus will feel when we beat him with only 4 Titans. We don't even have Hyperon.
Yeah, we got these dumbasses, dude.
Like, look at this.
We might have Typhon, given, like, well, it's like a big-ass storm. One of them was a big fucking storm.
It was a windstorm, though. It wasn't like a hurricane.
Well, it went through the water.
True.
It became a fucking hurricane.
That's true. He's like, and also, I'm pretty sure that Cyclops is Polyphemus and not actually a Titan. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, just get it through. I don't want to piss off my girl too much, please.
And they're like, wait, what? What?
Don't worry about it. Sorry, slip of the tongue.
You fuck off. Why are you questioning me? Fuck off.
Yeah.
Is Persephone the one that got him out of the pool of the dead souls?
Probably.
She came in like, babe, what are you doing? I fell. Oh, okay.
Oh, please help me. Okay, come here.
Well, it's cold.
Yeah. I love it so much. Persephone is wonderful in that book.
She sounds great. She sounds fucking great.
Yeah, it's because, they comment on, it's like, yeah, she may be like brown and earthy, but she loves the cobalt blue look. I think it's just a good time.
Dig that.
That's all I got on
That's great. Davis, thank you so much for sharing with me. And hey, listeners, thanks for tuning in and hanging out with us as our off-season bonus episodes. I hope you had fun.
Absolutely. I know I did.
I had a lot of fun. I think these are going to be a really cool way just to do some bonus episodes, talk about this stuff, maybe read a book that you hadn't thought of before. There were, like David said, like 10 of these. So.
Yeah, there's a good amount. I know there's obviously the Hercules, Mulan, Frozen, Aladdin, Peter Pan.
There's a
Sleeping Beauty, Little Mermaid, Alice in Wonderland.
Lion King?
No, there's not a Lion King.
Not a Lion King.
Beauty and the Beast. And I'm pretty sure there's one more. I don't remember.
Next episode, I'm not going to do any research on the books, but I think I'm going to do some research on this series and figure out what the fuck.
Yeah. And so far, the best ones that I've listened to have been by Liz Braswell. I know this one wasn't. This was a really solid one. But she did Peter Pan and the Aladdin one I'm enjoying so far. And like the ones with like the best sounding plot points are done by her.
Nice.
And I'm like, dude, she sounds like she's got it. She sounds like she gets the idea.
That's kick-ass. Okay. Well, DJ, sneak peek, what are you going to do? What's the next one? Just in case maybe our listeners want to, next 2 weeks, read the book themselves. Oh my god, we've done a read long podcast. Holy fuck, we've done a read long podcast.
Yeah, that's wild. It's fun though. I'm enjoying it. Oh, don't fall.
I almost fell. So DJ, what are you gonna do? What's gonna be the next one?
I really want to talk about the Peter Pan one.
Okay.
That one I really want to talk about. So we'll do that one next.
What's that one called?
It's called Straight On Till Morning.
That's good.
And the subtitle is What If Captain Hook? What if Wendy first traveled to Neverland with Captain Hook?
I love the covers of these
The
books.
Covers are cool,
with the
right?
silhouette of the character, and it's just...
It's definitely not like how they had it at first, though. If we go to the Aladdin one, where the fuck is? The Aladdin one is not quite
weird.
the
I can't
same.
believe that's the right cover. That doesn't look real.
It's the right I mean, at least it's the cover for this one.
I don't look into it.
Maybe it's different for, like, its physical release.
Maybe what's it called? The Aladdin one?
A Whole New World. There's no subtitle for it. Okay. Yeah, that's a way better cover. What the fuck is this?
Cover. And then the title for it is What If Aladdin Never Found the Lamp?
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking... The description of this is what if Jafar never used his third wish?
Interesting.
Maybe it also goes for Aladdin never found the lamp and so Jafar, he wouldn't be able to trick Jafar into becoming a genie, therefore him not using his third wish.
So here's the Once Upon a Dream one. I wonder if these were like original covers, and then later on they Disneyfied them a little bit more. Because you see the Once Upon a Dream one, so the other cover has like Maleficent silhouette looming over it, and this one's like a black cover with like a green dragon. I'm pretty sure that's the one that Audible
has as well.
So I will research this because I'm fascinated with this as a thing that exists. Yeah. Davis, thank you so much for sharing. This was super fun. I really enjoyed this.
I'm excited to talk about the Peter Pan one because so far that is my favorite.
Fair, yeah. So yeah, y'all.
I'm very excited for that one.
Y'all got 2 weeks. Check it out. Listen to Audible. How's the audio reading experience? You do a lot of audio.
It's not bad. I definitely enjoy it. The weirdest experience I've had so far is the Magnus Chase books, but that is because the first book was read by a guy that I'm like, this is just not Magnus' voice. You know, I'm like, this dude sounds like a fucking dork nerd. And then the second one was way too fast because they got 3 different narrators for all 3 books.
Wild.
Yeah. And so like the first guy just did not sound it. The second guy was way too fast. The third guy was the guy that I believe they 100% should redo all the books with.
And with him. Okay. Cool. It's interesting, yeah, because I don't do audiobooks. I'm always interested to like hear how that contributes to your story honestly, experience.
For me, like, sure, I can read, I obviously can. But it's way easier for me. It's more convenient and it's way easier for me to visualize stuff if I'm hearing it.
I get it.
So.
Well, thank you all so much for listening. Thanks for joining us on our off-season bonus episodes.
Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. And I mean, obviously, if you're listening to this, you're at least $5, and that is so much fun. We love you so much.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Big thank you to our God tier level patrons, Tim O'Connor and the Crystal Codman. Y'all have already went on your quest to become gods of Olympus. And Tim is the god of theme parks. And I think the Crystal Codman is the god of wrestling.
Yep.
And I think that's accurate.
Yep. Thank you guys so much for listening, and have a good night.
Take care.